Hey, this is A90 Mike, and this is my Supra build. So you'll probably notice compared to a lot of the builds out here at SEMA, I have a little bit more of a track-focused build. No wide body kit, functional aero, and I'm gonna show you everything on the car. So let's start with the front end here. First thing you're gonna notice is a big carbon splitter by APR Racing. It's a full carbon weave. You look at it, it's got a nice, beautiful finish on top. But the most important part about this is it gives you better steering response. It's going to give you more front end grip, give you more turn in, and it uses all OEM holes except for the two support rods. We have a tow hook by Kang. This is their tug view. It allows me to put a GoPro on, get some footage from the front of the car, but gives me a functional tow hook so you can tow me off track. If I fly off, I get stuck somewhere, they'll be able to take me out. You're going to notice a Motul badge. Well, Motul makes the best lubricants out there. I exclusively use 300V oil on here. And even though the factory fill on this car is 0W20, I'm gonna be using 5W30 to handle the extra power and heat that the car is gonna be generating at the track. Next thing you'll notice going around here is the car is lowered. Now I am on the Street Advance Z. This is a prototype suspension that Tein will have for sale soon. But the biggest thing is this gives you height adjustability without compromising your ride quality. I can dial back the damping when I'm commuting, going home to and from the track, and I can actually get a better ride than factory. But when I'm at the track, I'm gonna be able to dial the damping up, get that sharp response I have going into corners, and maximize the performance of the car. Look at that ride height. It's gonna be a functional ride height without getting too much body roll. You're gonna notice the tires. I have Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s. It's a street tire that has a ton of grip and a huge heat capacity at the track. Maximize my grip. You're also gonna notice this is a wider tire than the factory. It's a 265 in the front and a 285 in the rear. Going inward, we have the Volk Racing G025 wheel. It's a forced one-piece wheel, a little bit more strength than the factory one, but a lot of weight reduction. And it gives you a little bit more aggressive fitment, so again, I can maximize that handling gain that I have at the track, get sharper turn-in. Inwards more, we have the AP Racing Pro 5000R competition big brake kit. This is a wide caliper. It accepts a 25mm pad along with a 372mm rotor by 34mm of thickness. 84 vanes, tons of heat dissipation. Inside there we have the counter space garage C2 compound. And if you zoom in on that rotor here, you're gonna see a very nice transfer layer. You'll be able to see that it's maximizing the performance, maximize both the life and control of the pad. At the track, it's always gonna be safety first. First thing you're gonna notice is a 6-point Cusco harness. Make sure you always have that bottom strap so you don't submarine down. No 4 points here. Attached to a Cusco harness bar, and inside it's all mated to a Recaro RMS. You get inside, it looks like it might not be that comfortable, but when you sink into it, it actually holds you in place perfectly. Pretty easy to get in and out. Pull that strap up. Let's get the side harness in. Now, one thing you want to make sure you do is you'll always want to have a Hans device when you get into your car. Obviously, we don't have it here for the SEMA show, but when I get home, I use a Simpson Hybrid S. It's going to be universally acceptable, FIA certified, and this bucket and Cusco harness is also FIA certified. 6-point harness. Normally, I'd scoot the seat all the way up, move the steering wheel down, and you got a really nice driving position. Now, I have this seat pretty high up. I want to be able to see over the hood, but if you got a taller driver, somebody who's maybe 6'1", 6'2", 6'4", you'll notice on the rail, you can move quite a bit down to make sure they have enough clearance. Now, this is that 285 Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 that I mentioned, and it's on a 19 by 10 inch Volk Racing G025. Inside, we have an AP Racing Pro 5000R caliper. This is on a 265mm by 30mm rotor. Way more performance than that factory brake setup. Now, there is one downside. You lose your parking brake, but why do you need a parking brake when you have a real automatic transmission and a park gear? The car's still not gonna go anywhere. Let's go further around to the back. First thing you're gonna notice is this big APR GTC 300 wing. It's a maximum downforce wing, starts generating downforce at really low speeds. Make sure that we're gonna be able to put all of that power down when we're coming out of the corners. Going further back here, a couple things I wanna point out. First thing is this Akrapovic exhaust. It is valved, it's titanium. You lose a lot of weight out of the car, but it gives you a really crisp, clean note, and you get a little bit of a power gain. Paired with that is this AMS Performance downpipe. Obviously, it's not gonna be very visible out here, But with that and the CSG spec tune, the car is making about 550 horsepower. We're gonna need every bit of that traction from that rear tire and the wing to be able to utilize it at the track. Coming further back here, we have a second tug view all the way down here. This is going to let us get some really cool audio coming out of that exhaust. You'll be able to hear all the pops and the turbo noises. So for SEMA, I did something a little bit different. We put a street caliper on this side because we wanted to showcase the AP Racing product. So let me show you that over here. Instead of using a Pro 5000R, this is a AP Racing Radical 2. Now, a lot of people are going to ask, what are the differences between the two calipers? This is a street caliper. It has dust boots. You can drive it in rain or snow without ever having to worry about getting that inner piston dirty. The race caliper, you want to avoid inclement weather if possible. It doesn't have that outer dust boot to protect it. Now, because it's a street caliper, it's also a little bit heavier duty in that it has less cooling vanes, but much more rotor mass. Instead of a 372 millimeter rotor, this is a 380 millimeter rotor by 36 millimeters of thickness, and it also uses a larger pad. Nice red finish on here. It's not a hard anodize like the Pro 5000R, but it pops and it really gets a lot of attention. I want to be able to have an easier time, so we got this wheel stud conversion kit from EAS. Makes it really easy to put wheels and tires on the car. We're going to see how this car does at Global Time Attack Finals. Not this weekend, but the weekend right after. It's going to be a trial by fire. And this is what I consider a stage 1 build. Everything is bolt-on, very easy to replicate, very easy for anybody else to use on their own build with proven results. Going from here, who knows? We might go a little bit more hardcore with the aero, gut the car out, do a lot of weight reduction, take out the creature comforts that a track car doesn't really need. And when we're ready to tow, we're gonna go a little bit ham. For more information on the parts on this build, first off, for suspension, you want to contact Tein USA. They have dampers that are going to be coming for this car. As I mentioned, this is an entry-level damper primarily built for comfort without sacrificing any performance, but they are going to be having some race dampers out in the future that I'm going to be upgrading to. Brake pads and tuning, you want to contact Counter Space Garage. They have all of these products in stock on the shelf. The aero is from APR Racing. Now, APR Racing is a huge name in the industry. You've probably heard of them. Go to your local performance vendor. They'll probably be able to get these parts for you when they are in production. The raised wheels, Force, everybody knows the raised name. Now, most of you might recognize the TE37, but I wanted to try something different, so I went with the G025. You can find more information at raise.co.jp. Last but not least, Race Kang for your best tow hooks. Adjustable, you can put them on the car, pick your color, put on that GoPro mount, and Michelin for wheels and tires. They make the best all-around tire. For more content, check out Supra MK5 on YouTube. You can find them on Instagram under Supra MK5, and I'm going to be A90 Mike on Instagram. Check in for more content.